It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and we are back on Coronado Island at another project that was installed about 4 years ago, doing our twice annual maintenance at Pat's house. And I don't think she watches these videos, so I mean every time I hit her up to let me finish. I hate this little strip of grass right here. It is such a mess. And I'm going to hit her up again today and see if she'll let us take this out and extend the succulent border. But until she's comfortable with that, we're just going to continue to do the best we can for her. So a little tip that I thought I would share. You can see how this Aeonium sunburst has really bloomed out. So I will take off the pieces of sunburst that have not yet bloomed out. Here you can see no sunburst left, just blooms. I'm going to rip these out now because they are finished. There's nothing to be done here. No viability left. I'm going to pull those out. And see, also by pulling these out, I'm able to loosen up the soil, which is super handy because now I've created, oops, here's another one. Now I have created a hole that I need to fill. And so I'm just always looking, well, what can I move? What can I transfer? And I noticed that this stand of Aeonium urbicum has really run amok. It's sticking through the fence in the back and it's just way too big. So we're going to have to cut and reset this anyway. So this will be a really good time. And you can rip the whole thing out in one fell swoop, or you can cut pieces off first and then pull out the stem and the roots. However you want to do it, there's really no right or wrong way. But I want to take a bunch of these really big, juicy urbicum and move them into that space that I just vacated. And I know, what you're saying, Laura, it's July 1st. What are you doing messing with Aeonium cuttings? Well, here in Coronado, we are literally blocks from the ocean and it's just so mild all year round. So we can absolutely get away with this, no problem. So, take time to do your little grooming and check for bugs. I don't see anything. And then this is the, like I always say, it's like candles on a birthday cake. And if your succulent stands up, you've done your job. This is where that phrase came from. Handling these plants in this way, just sticking them in the ground. Look at how pretty that is. So much prettier than looking at those big, ugly trunks. Ooh, that's a nice one. Okay. Now, I will just take and push my dirt back around. This garden is also on inline drip, so there's irrigation that runs all through here. Look at that. I've got a rock, too, a really pretty rock that has sunk. So I'll lift that out and reset it up a little higher in the space. And there I have created a whole new thing. So we haven't been here for, since January, and it's now the very first day of July, as you can tell. And here on the island, the 4th of July is a very celebratory big deal. So everyone decorates, which is really cool and very old school. And, this is a garden that receives attention once every 6 months. The homeowner is one that really loves to look at it, but she's not going to get out and work in it for her own very personal and excellent reasons. So you can see, as it's been a few years now, the Fracrea McDougalii, the Baccarnia recurvata, the Blue Glow. We've got some statement plants in this garden, and Aloe that in another year or two we're going to have to manipulate and move around. But for now, it's just supporting the design as I installed it. Also, we had some irrigation concerns this 6 months, which is why Greg came with us today. This side looks really lush and great. The other side, not so much. And I'll show you the difference, and then I'll tell you why we have the issues that we have. We talk about this being a maritime climate. It's Coronado, it's blocks from the beach. It's, always lots of really great moisture in the air. It's always really cool. But this side of the garden was looking really desiccated. This Ficoria, was losing a lot of leaves. The crassulas were looking stressed and wrinkly. The little platyphylla are just as red and stressed as they can be. And what we discovered first off was that the irrigation in this station wasn't on. So, duh, problem solved. And I know you're going to ask about the Hawaiian snowbush. No, this is not a succulent. This is like a weed here on the Coronado Islands, and we allowed it because it is absolutely a stunning plant. But see how much more desiccated this side is? And it gets filtered sun and shade in the afternoon, and there was no explanation for it other than the fact that it just didn't seem to be getting water, and it turns out that it wasn't. So because we are on sand here on the island, I had Greg increase the days but reduce the time, because with the water draining through so quickly, it's a waste to have it running for 10 or 15 minutes. When 3 to 5 minutes is going to give those superficial roots all that they need. Because as you know, succulents store their water in their leaves, trunks, and stems. So long, slow, deep waterings aren't really going to cut it for these plants. Short, quick, frequent. So we made some changes here. Oh, also, this was a barrel cactus that was out in the front, and I pulled it out to weed it and forgot to put it back. And then after I'd filled in with aeoniums and other things, I had an extra barrel, and I just love it there against the bromeliad. So design tip, around your tropical looking areas, if you want to throw in a barrel cactus for contrast, I highly support. Barrels will take water as long as you have well draining soil. They don't need it, but they'll take it. And with the help of Kevin and Nate and Hannah and Greg, this little garden looks like a shiny new penny. It just never ceases to amaze me how easy it is to keep these plants looking their best. All we did was get in here with hand shovels or trowels, dig up the Bermuda grass by the roots. We pulled out most of the succulents so that we could get the weeds out from between them and reset them. Then I came through and I hosed everything off really well, which, there were a few aphids, a couple of mealybug here and there. And by giving it a good blast with the hose, I was able to clean everything up. We reset all these aeonium urbicums. We had so many left over that we were able to pop them in here and there and other gappy places. So, after all these years, I still have not had to bring in any new plant material. I may suggest it next year as some of the sedums and the echeverias start to, just kind of lose their luster. You can see, for example, right in here, I would love to take some more color and bring it all the way through and connect here to this Ruchia. But the guys did a super job. This had so many weeds in it that we had to pull everything out, pull the weeds, and then reset the little plants. But here, so close to the ocean, they are going to do absolutely fine. We also pulled out, the stick's on fire, cut them off and reset them. That's something that we do here on the regular because we like these for the little pop of color that they provide, but we don't want them to get their legs. We don't want them to get big. We want to keep a very low profile with those plants. So, you know, maybe in January we'll be able to remove this little patch of grass and extend our installation all the way to the curb. Please keep a good thought. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity reporting for Team DFS in Coronado with your succulent tip of the day. Bye guys!